All right, thank you. So yesterday morning I was driving in here and I was following into Ozark International Raceway two Mustangs, one 64 and a half, one 68. And I didn't know the folks, but I was like, how cool does this look on this back highway with these two Generation 1 cars coming in, and you know they're going to Ozark International and the Ozark Ponies in the Park, the Ponies in the Ozark car show. So come to find out, after I posted those pictures, I had to take a picture of you two driving down the road. And posted those pictures. I said, I don't know who they are, but I know they're going to OIR. Then all of a sudden people started popping up. Well, that's Rachel and Johnnie Garner. It's like, how could you not know that? So fortunately for me, they parked you right in front of the DJ booth. And here you are. We've had a chance to talk. Eric Hill, you're going to be good enough so the people here can hear, if you just pass the mic back and forth between, or get it back and forth so we can hear them talk. But from what I understand, talking to Rachel yesterday, you guys actually drive to as many events as you can.
We do.
And you've got an original production car sitting over there and then one that was built a couple of years later. So how did you guys get into Mustangs?
Well, when I started...
Hold that up a little closer, will you?
When I started dating Johnnie, he had a Fairlane at the time. And then he got a Mustang, a 67 Faceback 394 speed. And he wrecked it.
He wrecked it?
Yeah, he was pulling in his home place, his father's home place, and a car came and hit the driver's side. And I still have that little piece of glass that was in his pocket.
Don't get me to crying over here.
Well, I get emotional. I can't help it. But anyway, after that, he got a 68 289, and it was automatic. And that's what we took our honeymoon in back in 1970. And so when I graduated school, I went to school with some twins, and they got the 69 Mark I. And I loved that car. But when we got married in 70, they changed the body style, so we got the 71. So we ordered it new.
So you got a new 71 shortly after you got married?
Yes, we did.
Yep. Did you have then two Mustangs at that point? Or?
No, he got rid of the 68 at the time, and we only had a Ranchero and then the 71. But he bought a 65 Keiko convertible, and it was raggedy and all tore up, and I had him to get rid of it. But you didn't restore cars back in the 70s. We didn't know that this was coming, in the future.
Yeah, so Johnnie, when Rachel first met you, you had a Mustang.
Had a Fairlane.
Had a Fairlane. And then what got you off into the Mustangs?
You tell that story.
Well, got my first Mustang, and was me and my buddy was about the same age, and we used to work on cars on the side, sort of hop them up, and so that's what we did. And one day, this guy, I had a Fairlane, and 390 Fairlane, blue one, and this guy showed up with a 67 390 Mustang, wanted us to tune it up. So we said, okay, we'll tune it up. He said, I'm wanting to tune it up. He said, because I'm going to go take it and trade it. I said, well, why do you want to trade it? And he said, well, I got married, and I got a kid, and there ain't no room in it. And I said, well, what about a Fairlane? And I said, that's sitting over there. And I said, I might be interested in doing some trading. And I said, why don't you take it and drive it and go home, show it to your wife, y'all ride around town, come back a couple hours, we'll have your car tuned up, and you'll be ready to go. So a couple hours later, he come back, and he said, well, so you'd be interested in trading? I said, yeah. I said, well, I would too. And he said, you probably about like me, you don't have much money to spend. He said, would you just like to trade cars? I said, sounds like a good idea to me. I said, you go get your title, I'll go get mine. So we traded cars. So that was my first Mustang. And I've had Mustangs ever since then.
Once you got into the Mustangs, why'd you stick with them?
I just liked them.
You get attached to it.
Yeah, they was, especially them 390s, they was hot cars.
I got a feeling you might have run a little fast every now and then.
Yeah, I did.
He did some drag stuff.
I
You should do
I did a little road racing, you might say. And, that's how I wound up and wrecked that 67.
Yeah, glad you got to meet my wife.
Then started around the curve and I didn't make it. And I wound up out in the wheat field.
Yeah,
I did one thing right in my
You sound like
life.
Donald Farr. Ran
Yeah.
off the side of a mountain. I remember one time with him. You restore all your cars now,
Yeah,
right?
I do all my own work.
5 years.
And you guys drove over here. We're in the middle of the country, but you drove over here from South Carolina.
Right.
I mean, that's even more impressive to me. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be 80 in September.
You're 80, and you're driving to all these national shows in cars that you've restored.
Yeah.
You don't have any plans on stopping.
No, not planning on stopping.
Oh, 19.
Well, what is it that gets you to come out to you're a national judge?
Well, ever since I took this assistant head judge position with Mustang Club of America 20-some years ago, we've been to every national show,
Wonder why.
Mustang National
God,
Show.
let me
And,
I like letting my
and so we like doing it, and we enjoy it. And that's sort of our mini vacations, you know. We
somewhat long in high school.
just get in and go.
I'm trying to think your email address, which I got yesterday, and I did email you the pictures
Although
of you two going down the road. It's Johnnie and Rachel, or Rachel and Johnny,
J&R.
J&R
J&R Mustang.
Mustang
Yep.
at compendium.com.
Emporium.net.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you gonna? What were you
I was
say,
going to
Rachel?
add, when he first took this position, he flew to Olympic Washington State and Park City, Utah without me. And ever since then, I've been going with him.
So you just decided
I get emotional.
he wasn't going without you. So,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, are you a judge also?
Yes, I
So
started
both of you
judging.
are judges.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drive to all the shows now, and the furthest we drove to was Washington State.
And
That's quite a
California.
ways. One goes to the other.
We drove that 71 Mustang that
main penitentiary in Jeff City
we bought new,
with intake.
To
and
Washington.
we drove it all the way to Washington
I
State.
worked at what's called
Back.
What is it about the national shows, other than seeing all the gorgeous cars
I worked up
that are in
in,
perfectly
my last
restored
work was up in
condition?
Cameron.
What is it that keeps you coming back to all of these?
It's the people.
Well, it's just a hobby. It's what you enjoy
The main penitentiary is in
doing,
Jeff City.
and
I lived in
enjoy
Jeff City
winning your
for
trophies and
um,
moving your cars up to.
Well, Rachel just mentioned the people.
Yeah.
yeah, Parkville.
The people and the friends you make.
Yeah, don't you find that you make friends here and they become lifetime friends?
They do.
Like this guy sitting over here, Eric Hill, I met in Loveland, Colorado. And we've been in touch ever since. Now, that's been years now.
It's
so,
been a while.
Yeah,
2015.
Yeah,
So I
2015.
just talking to Rich Bible. Well, 2015 is when. In fact, he asked me about it,
2000 moved to
and
Memphis. And my wife-
he asked me how we had met, and I said, "Well, we met at Loveland, Colorado, and we just kind of hit it off." Told him about last year at Topeka, watching the cars, and you and I have a common background in IT and networking, that type of thing. So we talk about that, but just hit it off, and have been a friend and friendship ever since.
Well, you go out and do media stuff like I do as well.
I do. I work for a trucking magazine.
Yeah.
I'm the marketing and advertising manager, but I do a lot of do interviews with different truck owners and custom trucks and that kind of stuff.
Right off the road.
Also do a lot of advertising, radio and TV and that type of thing. So, and I've been in that. Communications is my background. So I've done that for many, many, many years. But the common draw for us is Mustangs and
Yeah, it is.
MCA. And these guys were talking about their 67. I had 68. My second Mustang was a
Just want to say bye before I left.
Thank you.
68 390 horsepower.
Appreciate you, Al.
And,
I always appreciate
that was
working with
one of
y'all.
my favorite
Thank you.
cars. Very, very fast car. So,
I'll do
but
it again
yeah,
as soon as I can.
our
Okay.
friendship goes back.
So,
We have a lot
you guys
of stuff
take
in
care.
common.
You too.
Enjoy our time together.
Yes, yeah, we always enjoy our time together. Everybody's been sitting over here and enjoying chatting with everybody. I find it amazing. I mean, these guys at 80 and you're
72.
72, Rachel.
And I'm 72 also.
You're 72
Yes,
also.
I am.
Is that, yeah. And so driving to all these events, you drove over.
I
You've got
drive.
your car here.
I do. I occasionally trailer, but I trailer it. So I go to as many events each year as I possibly can. I love the sport.
Y'all go to all 4 events every year?
Pretty much. I mean, there's some years. My busy season is the summer with truck shows, so there are times they have conflicts. But I make my number one priority is shows. I'm also a judge. Love it. Rachel mentioned the relationships, like our relationship. That's the most important thing to me. I met some incredibly wonderful people and lifelong relationships.
Absolutely.
And, look forward to seeing people at the shows.
I heard Steve Salim say this when we did an interview there in Birmingham. He kept going back to it's the people, it's the people, it's the people. And not to mention the Mustang's an incredible vehicle, but he kept going back to it being the people and the friendships you make and the lifelong friendships that you hold after that. And that's what this is. That's what it turns into.
Yes, family.
Family, yeah. So I can't thank you guys enough for giving us a few minutes to chat. It still amazes me that you're climbing in these originals and driving all the way over here. But because Eric, you got a reasonably new. You got 2010 or so, right?
I've got a 2007 Roush,
Around
stage 1.
2007, yeah.
And when I bought the car, I wanted a really nice Shelby GT 500, but at that time I was putting 2 kids through college, so I had a pretty limited budget. But I love my car. I've done a lot to it. The only way I'll give it up is when good Lord decides it's time for me to exit this place. So it's outside of, I was in athletics all my life, and outside of that, this is where I need to be, and I just love my time when I come to the MCA event and meet people like
Folks like this, yeah.
yes,
To hear some of
Rachel
these
and
background
Johnnie.
stories and stuff like that,
Exactly.
for me, it's
Yeah.
priceless.
And what blows me away is here's a guy that's 80 years old. It's his passion. He's still at 80 years old, loving what he does, and you really have to admire and respect that.
Well, I watched yesterday, you guys were, after you parked and you're cleaning cars and detailing the cars, getting ready to be judged. I have a hard time getting up and down off the ground nowadays. I'm sure y'all do too, but you got in there, you got it done, you're ready for when judging came around. All 3 of you.
Yeah, it gets harder every year, but I just, like them, it's a passion. My first car was a 65 Mustang, and part of the reason why we had Mustangs was my dad was a Ford mechanic, but I had a lot of friends that had Chevys and Corvettes, and I wanted to be the contrarian, so
Yeah.
I had a Mustang.
So there's one in every group, man.
That's right, and I'm sure that's for a lot of people like that in the Mustang Club.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking part.
Thank
Yoda,
you.
thank you for filming over there for us. We'll get this edited and up on Facebook as soon as we get internet. So thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Randy. Appreciate it. Glad we had the opportunity to do this.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.